I could hear her crying from the waiting room. I was 15 or 16, maybe almost 17, and I remember I'd never heard her cry in pain before. And now thinking back, I can't remember hearing her cry ever before that, out of grief or sadness or anger. I'm sure she did. She was my mom. But it was until that day in the waiting room of the doctor's office, I could hear her crying as the doctor examined her. That was the first time also that she ever asked me to go to the doctor with her. This is something the moms normally do, but her shoulder had been in so much pain in her neck that she asked me to go to our family physician. My mom is a strong woman. She was the oldest of 9. They didn't grow up poor, but I would say pretty close. And she graduated high school and worked professionally. And then she met my dad, and then was a stay-at-home mom to 2 boys whose husband and their father was a long-distance truck driver. So during the earliest years of my life, my dad would be on the road 3 or 4 weeks at a time. So she wasn't a single mom because she had him, and he was home 3 or 4 or 5 days a month, and he would call every other day, and there was income. But she was left alone to raise us, and she was tough. She was strong and resourceful and smart and creative and a really good mom to boys. And so she wasn't a stranger to dirt or guns or scrapes and things like that, raising 2 boys. But the doctor told her that a piece of her neck had been broken in the back, and she would need a surgery to remove the bones that had broke and put a piece of plastic in there. But for her to move her arm and move her neck brought her immense pain. See, what would happen was it was just a week before, after wrestling practice, I was telling my mom about it, and she's like, "Well, let's wrestle. I'll show you." So we moved the couch back against the wall, and we moved the coffee table into the hallway. And we took the cushions of the couch and the love seat and kind of put them around the room. And there in the living room floor, my mom was going to wrestle. So probably maybe not the smartest thing for a 40-year-old woman to do. But I remember we were wrestling and we were laughing, and I got my arm around her neck and one arm under the back of her knee, and I locked her up and rolled her back to a perfect cradle position and pinned her. But high school wrestling is for teenage boys and teenage girls, young bodies, and not a 40-year-old mom. But it was the next day that the pain started, and the day got worse until we ended up at that doctor's office with the exam and telling her that she would in fact need to have a surgery on her neck. My mom just took it in stride. Like, I don't think many teenage boys have ever broken their mother's neck and got to laugh about it years later, but she did have the surgery, and they cut her a pretty good cut right in the front of her neck, a good slash, and she had to wear a collar after the surgery for 6 or 8 weeks, and I was left to push the vacuum or the shopping cart, of course a lawnmower and heavy things like that she couldn't carry, and we had a good laugh about it. But yesterday, as she sat at my dinner table with my family for Mother's Day, and we just talked about life and things, I just remember that day, like, what woman gets in the floor with her teenage son, who outweighed her by 50 or 60 pounds easily, and would wrestle? Well, my mom would, no matter the consequences. And that time I broke her neck. So, happy Mother's Day. That's my mom, one of a kind, and love her to death. And there you go. There's my story this week. I don't know. There's not much of an ending to that one, but that's a story about the time I broke my mom's neck. So go love your mother. Hug her neck this week. Squeeze her hard. Tell you love her. And then go meet a stranger. Tell a story. Make a new friend. And I'll see you next week with another story. Thanks, guys. Bye.